Hello, and welcome to another episode of Video Game Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about Mario Tennis Aces on the Nintendo Switch. So, probably like a lot of you out there, I don't play a lot of tennis games. I can't remember the last tennis game that I played. Maybe Virtua Tennis on the Sega Saturn? Yeah, so it's been a minute. And what was I expecting out of Mario Tennis Aces? Probably the same thing that most of you out there would expect, which is a pretty casual, sort of arcadey type of a tennis game, and it definitely delivers that. And it delivers that with Nintendo's trademark, amazing presentation on their hardware. Okay, so it's another great-looking Switch game by Nintendo if you like their graphical style. You know, it looks great, it sounds great when you hit that ball with the racket. It's got a nice pop to it. It's very satisfying. The music is, it's Mario music. It's not bad. I'm probably not gonna rock out to it in my car or anything, but it's appropriate. It fits. Now, without giving any spoilers away, I'm going to talk about the adventure mode, because that is mostly that's all that I've played, because I'm a miserable hermit, and I very rarely see any of my few real life friends, and the only game in the last decade I think that I've played online is Bomberman. If you saw my review for that on the Switch, great game, by the way. Also, it's free. So anyway, I'm going to be focusing on the one player experience because I have played that. I have, as I do for this channel, I've played through it. I just completed it last night, the adventure mode on Mario Tennis Aces. And getting back to this story, man, so I'm not going to give anything away that's not revealed in like the first 10 minutes. And why does a tennis game even need a story? Great question. But it has one. I guess it's to lend the game some of that Mario personality, of course, because, it's a popular thing, it's a seller. So, why wouldn't they? But anyway, so the story, I just want to say that is even among video game stories, is maybe it's got to be among the stranger stories that I've ever seen in a game. So the gist of it is a evil, sentient tennis racket possesses Luigi. And yada yada, long story short, you as Mario have to travel around this island and collect these power orbs and blah blah blah, save the day. Pretty freaking weird, really. A demonic tennis racket. Seriously, a demonic tennis racket. That's freaking out there, dude. But anyways, whatever. I mean, obviously it's intended to be. It's got to be tongue-in-cheek. But so let's get to the gameplay, because that's where it's really at. And I can absolutely see where this game, if I wanted to get the Nintendo Online Pass, which I don't have, but if people are still playing this game online, that's probably the coolest way to play this game. It's probably a lot of fun versus mode once you get the hang of the techniques needed to really be decent at the game. And adventure mode will teach you those techniques over the course of a few hours. So here's something. This game looks really cute, really cutesy and kid friendly and everything. It's pretty hard, and it's also pretty frustrating, to be quite honest. Surprisingly so. You wouldn't look at this game and think, oh, that's gonna be a thumb blister inducing really intense video game, but in fact it is. So what you have here is basically tennis. I'm not going to explain how tennis works, but I am going to explain the differences here. So you've got a few additional moves. You've got these power shots that you can pull off, and a few of the moves that you can pull off will allow you to basically freeze time, go into a first-person perspective, and aim a really powerful fast shot. So that could be a good way if you shoot one of those as far as you can away from your opponent, then they're probably not going to be able to get to it in time, and you're going to get a point. However, if you hit your opponent's tennis racket with one of those power shots, the tennis racket will take damage. And so an important distinction in this game versus standard tennis is that you can win a match by either winning at the game of tennis, or you can win a match by destroying your opponent's tennis rackets, like all of them. Like most opponents, as you get further into the game, will have multiple tennis rackets that they can switch out to if you break one. But if you break all of the opponent's tennis rackets, then it's considered a KO, like in boxing, and the match is over and you win. And in fact, there are a couple of bosses or a couple of matches in the story mode where it's almost impossible to beat your opponent at the game of tennis, and really like the only way to clear the match is to get a KO on them, you know, by destroying all of their tennis rackets. And it doesn't really do anything to indicate this strategy to you, or that like it's time to do that now. So that can throw you off a little bit, you know, because you're playing a tennis game, you're thinking about playing tennis, you're not thinking about it necessarily as almost like a fighting game, which in certain instances is kind of what it becomes. But it's also important to know that your opponent can do the same thing to you. If your opponent breaks all of your tennis rackets, like you're KO'd and you lose. And so there are like side missions that you can do, or little mini games or whatever, where you can earn additional tennis rackets. And those are by far like the most important extra missions to make sure that you play, I would say. Other side missions, honestly, I found to be quite skippable. Yeah, and so the other thing that you can do is, so if an enemy shoots a power shot at you, like the one that can potentially break your racket, you can block. But the timing on the block has to be really precise. And so you do have the ability to slow time down temporarily. It's so that you can line yourself up and get nice and close to the incoming power shot, so that you can block it at just the right time, but it's still tricky. It's still a tricky thing to do. What else, man? I guess that's about it, man. Honestly, I am looking forward to playing this game on multiplayer at some point. I think that it could be really fun. But let's get close to wrapping this up here, and let's talk about the price point. So the price point is $60 regular retail, and that is ridiculous in my mind. That's absurd for any tennis game. Like I can't imagine any tennis game where I would drop $60 for it, and I feel like a lot of other gamers out there are probably in the same boat. But you may be wondering, like, yeah, but this is arcadey and it's like casual and it's fun and it's Mario. Is it worth the 60? Like, is this the exception? Is this tennis game worth $60? And while I had a good but frustrating time with this game, I would say that it is not worth $60, like, ever. Like, there's no scenario in which this game is worth $60. I got it on sale right around New Year's, I think, for $41. And at that point, at that price point, I feel like I don't regret my purchase. I had a good time with it. It's very polished. I feel like it was worth $40. Personally, I feel like this game should really be right around $35, maybe even $30. Especially because I'm not going to be taking advantage of the online features. So $30 to $35 seems like way more appropriate to me. However, I don't know if or when we will ever see it drop that low. Like, it's not likely, because it is a Nintendo first-party game, and you know how those hold their value. Like, it's not going to come down that low until maybe like the Switch is finished in a few years. So I would say if you are really interested, and what I've said about this game so far seems like something that you would have a good time with, stick it on your wish list and wait for another sale. You might be waiting until the next holiday season. I don't know how often or if this game is going to go on sale again, but I would say wait for that $40 price. Somewhere around there. $45 maybe, I guess. Like, that wouldn't be highway robbery, but I wouldn't I seriously would not go much higher than that. So anyways, there you have it, man. That's my 2 cents on Mario Tennis Aces on the Nintendo Switch. I hope you found this helpful, and, hopefully you enjoyed the show. Please click like and subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you can get notified when I drop a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.